15% of the world's population carries a genetic code that, frankly, shouldn't exist. A bloodline that defies the very laws of evolution and suggests, well, that our ancestors were never fully human. Right now, I want you to really think about what is actually flowing through your veins. You know, you've been told since you were a child that we are the product of millions of years of slow, methodical evolution. We are taught that we share a common ancestor with the primates, a clear, unbroken line stretching back into the mist of prehistory. And, for 85% of you watching this, your blood proves that story to be true, more measured. You carry the rhesus factor, the Rh protein, a genetic signature we share directly with the rhesus macaque. It is the silver thread, if you will, that ties you to the natural world. But for the rest of you, that thread is severed. I'm talking about the Rh negative bloodline. See, if you belong to this group, you are missing that protein entirely. It isn't just hidden or dormant. It is simply not there. Analytical. In the cold, logical world of biology, this presents a massive, glaring problem. If we all supposedly evolved from the same tree, why does your blood tell a completely different story? Solemn, thought-provoking. Nature rarely makes mistakes this significant. Evolution is a ladder, right? Each rung building upon the last. Yet for some reason, 15% of the human race has stepped off that ladder entirely. Tense, dramatic. When an Rh negative mother carries an Rh positive child, her body does something terrifying. It recognizes the baby as a foreign invader. Her immune system attacks the life inside her as if it were a virus or a parasite. I want you to really process that. Why would a mother's own body reject the very essence of human reproduction, unless the two bloodlines were never meant to mix? Firmly skeptical. Science calls it a mutation. They tell us it is just a quirk of genetics that appeared out of nowhere a few thousand years ago. But, you see, I am not here to give you the textbook answers. I am here to ask the questions they won't. Where did this bloodline truly come from? Why is it concentrated in specific pockets of the globe? And why does it carry traits that seem to defy our understanding of what it means to be human? Epic. Cinematic. You have been told who you are your entire life. But today, I am challenging everything you think you know about your own biology. Grand. Atmospheric. We are about to go beyond the charts and the laboratories. We are stepping into the shadows of our genetic past to find the truth about a bloodline that, by all the laws of nature, shouldn't even exist. If you open up a biology textbook, you'll find a very neat, a very sanitized explanation. Conspiratorial. They'll tell you that Rh negative blood is simply a random mutation. A genetic glitch that appeared out of nowhere roughly 35,000 years ago. They categorize it, they label it, and they move on, hoping, I suppose, that you won't look too closely at the fine print. But, you see, I have spent enough time in the shadows to know that when the official story is this thin, there is usually a much deeper truth hidden beneath the surface. Just think about the logic of evolution for a moment, right? Nature is designed to survive, to replicate, to ensure the next generation thrives. Every mutation we've ever studied is either a neutral byproduct or a calculated step toward better survival. Yet, with Rh negative blood, we see something that defies every fundamental law of the natural world. I am talking about Rh disease, a biological war waged inside the womb. When an Rh negative mother carries an Rh positive child, her body doesn't see a miracle. It sees an invader. Her immune system produces antibodies to hunt down and destroy the blood cells of her own unborn baby. In the world of science,
This is known as erythroblastosis fetalis. But in the world of reality, it's a terrifying paradox. It is the only instance in the entire animal kingdom where a mother's body is biologically programmed to treat its own offspring like a foreign virus. I have to ask you, why would nature evolve a mechanism that actively tries to terminate its own bloodline? If evolution is the survival of the fittest, why would it create a blood type that is essentially incompatible with the rest of the species? In any other creature on this planet, crossbreeding usually works, or it doesn't happen at all. But here, the mother's very life force turns against the child. The mainstream experts will tell you it's just a quirk, of our complex DNA. They'll tell you not to worry, that modern medicine has fixed the problem with injections and Rogaine. But that's just a distraction. The real question isn't how we treat it today. It's why it exists in the first place. If we were all cut from the same evolutionary cloth, this shouldn't be happening. You're told we all share a common ancestor. Yet, a significant portion of the population carries a blood type that is literally at war with the human norm. The official explanation isn't just crumbling, it's non-existent. And if this isn't a natural part of human evolution, then we have to face a much more unsettling reality. The mutation theory is a dead end. But as I started digging into the historical records and the geographical anomalies of where this blood is found, I realized the truth is far more complex than a simple laboratory error. Because while the scientists are looking at cells, they're ignoring the trail of breadcrumbs left by our ancestors. And those breadcrumbs, they lead to a place that mainstream history is terrified to acknowledge. When I look at the data, I see something that frankly should not exist according to the laws of biology. You see, science tells us that evolution is a slow, agonizing crawl, a series of minute changes over millions of years. But Rh-negative blood, it didn't crawl. It arrived like a lightning bolt in a clear sky, shattering the neat linear narrative we were all taught in school, right? If you look at any other major human trait, there is a trail. We can track the migration of skin tones, the adaptation of lung capacity in high altitudes, and the slow spread of lactose tolerance. But when I try to find the transitional ancestor for Rh-negative blood, I hit a genetic wall. There is no middle ground. There is no Rh sort of negative. You either have the rhesus protein, or you don't.
Think about that for a second. If we truly evolved from the same lineage as the rhesus monkey, as the very name of the blood factor suggests, then where is the link? Every other primate on this planet is Rh positive. Every single one. If we are all part of the same earthly family tree, then Rh-negative blood is a branch that has no trunk. It is a biological impossibility that has been sitting in our veins for millennia. And the textbooks, they are absolutely terrified to ask the one question that matters. Where did it actually come from? I started looking into the timing of this emergence, and that's when things got even stranger. This bloodline didn't appear during the era of the hunched, heavy-browed Neanderthals. But when it coincides almost perfectly with the sudden, inexplicable appearance of Cro-Magnon man, these weren't just slightly improved versions of the hominids that came before them. They were a radical leap forward. Larger brains, sophisticated tools,
and a completely different skeletal structure altogether. It's as if someone or something hit the fast forward button on human evolution. Some researchers call it the Great Leap Forward, but to me, it looks more like an intervention. When I see a massive biological shift with no precursor, I don't see random mutation. I see a signature. I see the possibility that our DNA wasn't just drifting through time, it was tampered with. Whether it was a lost, advanced civilization, or an influence from beyond our atmosphere, the evidence suggests that the missing link isn't actually missing at all. It's just not earthly. But as I dug deeper into the physical reality of being Rh negative, I realized this mystery isn't just about ancient history or distant stars. It's about a biological war being fought inside the human body. A war that suggests the mother and the child might not even belong to the same species. And that is where the story takes a turn into a territory so dark, it makes the missing link look like a campfire story. I'm taking you now to a remote corner of Europe, nestled right between the rugged Pyrenees and the Bay of Biscay. This is the Basque Country. To the outside world, you see, the Basque people are a linguistic and genetic enigma. Their language, Euskara, has no known relatives on the entire planet. It is a language isolate, a linguistic island that predates the arrival of every other Indo-European tribe. But it isn't just their words that are unique, it's what is flowing through their veins. The Basque population holds the highest concentration of Rh negative blood in the world. While only about 15% of the global population carries this trait, right? Among the Basque, that number skyrockets. I find myself asking, how does an isolated group of people maintain a genetic marker that seems to defy the very laws of ordinary evolution? To find an answer, I look a little further back, crossing the Mediterranean to the sun-bleached plains of ancient Mesopotamia. This is the story that the God gene truly begins. The book of Nathan didn't tell us. The oldest written records known to man. It would speak of slow, natural evolution.
The tablets describe a deliberate hybridization, a celestial mixing of DNA to create a new kind of being. In the Bible, these are called the Nephilim, the giants, the fallen ones, the men of renown. I believe the Rh negative factor is the lingering footprint of this ancient intervention. It's not a mutation, it's a signature, a brand, left by the creators on their own handiwork. But how do you know if you are part of this legacy? I've spent years cross-referencing the physical profiles of Rh negative carriers, and actually, the results are uncanny. It's as if these individuals were built to a different set of blueprints. Many carriers report a lower than average body temperature, almost as if their internal engine runs on a different frequency. Then there are the physical anomalies, an unusually high occurrence of red hair, piercing blue or green eyes, and even reports of an extra rib or a tailbone vertebra that shouldn't be there. But the most chilling traits aren't physical, they're neurological. I've spoken to dozens of carriers who describe a heightened sense of intuition that borders on the psychic. They feel things before they happen. They have a strange sensitivity to heat, sunlight, and electromagnetic fields. It's as if they are hardware designed to pick up a signal that the rest of the world is deaf to. Are these just random biological quirks? Or are they the God gene activating in a modern world? If this bloodline was engineered for a specific purpose, we have to ask, what happens when the creators decide it's time to check in on their investment? Because as I looked closer at the modern data, I found something that the history books won't touch. These physical traits aren't just curiosities. In certain circles, they are used as a tracking system. And that leads us to a truth that is far more unsettling than ancient myths. You see, it's one thing to have the blood of the gods. It's quite another to realize that someone is still hunting for it. I've spent years
digging through the shadows of the past. But you see, the most profound evidence of our true origins might not be buried in a desert tomb or hidden away in some classified government vault. It is circulating inside you, right now. We are constantly told that human history is a straight, logical line, a predictable march from primitive ancestors to the modern world. But, your blood suggests something far more complex. It suggests a web of secrets and a biological anomaly that defies the very laws of evolution we are taught to accept without question. Whether this Rh negative factor is a celestial inheritance from a civilization that watched us from the stars, or perhaps the last remaining trace of a lost branch of humanity that ruled the world long before the Great Flood. One thing is certain: you aren't just a medical classification. You are a living archive. You are a walking, breathing chapter of a story that the gatekeepers of history, well, they never wanted us to finish reading. I challenge you to do something today that most people, honestly, never think to do. I want you to look at your own medical records. Don't just see a letter and a mathematical symbol on a piece of paper, right? Look at that negative sign and ask yourself, what else is hidden in my veins? Why does my body react the way it does to a world it seemingly rejects?
If you carry the Rh negative trait, I want to hear your story. Do you experience those unexplained physical markers? The lower body temperature, the extra vertebra, or those vivid, recurring dreams of places that don't even exist on any modern map? Share your experiences in the comments below. You see, we are piecing together a map of the forbidden, and your perspective might be the exact coordinate I need to find the next truth. If you are ready to stop looking at the surface and start questioning the very foundations of our reality, well, make sure to subscribe and join me here at Shadow Legends. I am peeling back the layers of our forbidden history, one mystery at a time. And believe me, you won't want to miss what I uncover next. Because the truth isn't just out there. It is written in your blood.